9:08, 8:09, 52 minutes before the hour of 10 o'clock. Good morning, everybody. I'm Jay Cartford, and you are?
John Cass, Chicago Tribune, noted columnist.
Noted, that's right.
Jake's second banana, sitting in the banana chair.
And we are in for Bruce and Dan. They are doing Don and Roma show today. They'll do it again tomorrow morning. And you have the exclusive details of the agreement with Chicago Teachers Union and the Board of Education, don't you?
Yes, and I'll pull them right from your forehead in a few seconds if you say that again.
I said the other day, Monday, the first day, they were going back to meet. I said, all they're really negotiating now is how bad the taxpayers are going to get screwed in this deal. Because that's what it all comes down to.
That was a given from the beginning. It's always that way. The teachers unions and the board, the board employees, right, ask the Democrats to raise our taxes. They get the money, and in exchange, the Democrats get the endorsement. Just like in the southern parts of the state, the Illinois, the Republican wing of that, Illinois Education Association, they play the same game with the state legislators.
And it looks, according to the reports this morning, the strike may be over as soon as tomorrow for the kids to go back to school tomorrow.
What does that mean? That grandma finally had enough? I'm not watching your kids anymore? I think it means that the Board of Education is finally giving in and will order those 6 new pianos that the union was demanding, yes. I was at City Hall yesterday, and we'll talk about it later in the hour, a column I wrote today, but all the cops I saw, and I know a lot of police officers in this city, they're all saying, we're waiting now. When's our 16%?
Are the Chicago police officers, are they the highest paid police officers in the nation?
Are they the ones that have the highest homicide rate?
Well, I'm just asking if they're the highest paid. Are they? I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know.
Because if they're
I would think Beverly Hills, California.
Because if they're not, I'd be using the argument about the teachers being the teachers highest paid. For a big city. Because that's what I've heard this past week. The Chicago Teachers Union, $75,000 is before benefits is the highest paid of a big city.
It's $100,000 with benefits. I just look, Ram. What happened to the Ram father? What happened to that tough guy?
According to the news reports, there's been a change in attitude about the evaluations. Where they're not going to be as strict with the evaluations.
Yeah, there won't be any real evaluation. It'll be kind of like, here's your evaluation, but that's okay. I think that's what it is. A 1-year grace period on evaluations at least.
And you'll set the bar, and if you don't go down from that bar, you're okay.
How can you... You have teachers that have to go into schools where children don't even know their first name when they go to start kindergarten, or they don't know their colors, they don't know their numbers, they don't know their letters. So sometimes I think testing teachers or having them evaluated that way is difficult compared to a teacher who goes to a school and all the kids know their names and numbers. I mean, it's a difficult proposition.
There are very good teachers who probably should make more than they're getting paid.
Right.
And there's also teachers who are probably making more than they should get paid. I mean, I know going through school with our 2 kids, our 2 boys, there is one teacher. In fact, I was just talking about this teacher with my wife yesterday. He doesn't deserve to be a teacher. You talk about all the teachers, they'll talk to the parents, this and that.
Right.
This guy didn't have time to talk. Well, I can't talk to you after school because, I got my own kids I got to worry about in my own life, so I can't talk to you. Well, how about during school time? Well, I can't do that because I'm busy in school. Well, when can you talk? Well, I can't talk after school. It was just one continuous circle.
Or maybe they want you to email them. Now, we've had good luck. I moved out of this city years ago and for this reason. I did not want to have my kids going through this nonsense, and I wanted them to be able to walk 2-3 blocks to their public school, and I didn't want to have to clout them You know,
if I clout them, why would you clout your kids?
Politically, I wouldn't, because if you're in Chicago, even some of the most reform-minded aldermen use political clout to get their kids into magnet schools.
Oh, ask for a favor.
That's right, clout. Sorry, yeah. Ask for a favor from your clout. And I didn't want to do that either, so we went to the suburbs, and we found a very good suburb with great schools. That's why we moved there. That's why I didn't have a car for 10 years, because I had to pay the property taxes.
Well, 591-8900 is the phone number. Alan Rockford, you're on 89 WLS.
Hi, gentlemen. I did some math last night on these raises over the next 4 years, and essentially just took it as simple math. I took a 4% raise, for year one, took the difference between that and $76,000, and then multiplied it across 26,000 teachers. And I did that for all 4 years, and I came up with a figure of $732 million is what the 16% raise over the next 4 years is going to cost the taxpayers. So my question for that is, why is it that the teachers need $732 million to begin teaching our students? They say that this is for the benefit of the students and to get them a better education. Does that mean that they're not currently teaching the students, but will start once they get their $732 million?
Yes.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Okay.
They're just going to sit there and, put on movies. Yeah, of course. If they want the money, they're going to get the money. Understand how this system works in Chicago. They get the money from you, and then once they get the money, they endorse the Democrats to run for re-election. I mean, who doesn't understand that?
We'll find out. 591-8900 is the phone number. John Cass of the Tribune, me, Jake Hartford, in for Bruce and Dan. 9:15, time for traffic.
89 WLS.
9:16, want to remind you the 89 WLS box office opens every Thursday, giving you a chance to win tickets to an upcoming show or event. Later today, we have your chance to win one pair of tickets to see Willie Nelson on Thursday, September 20th at the Chicago Theater, courtesy of Jam Productions. Tickets are on sale now at all Ticketmaster outlets and online at Ticketmaster.com. John Cass of the Tribune, Jake Hartford of 89 WLS here in for Bruce and Dan.
Yep.
Talking about the teacher strike may be over.
It could be, and then we're going to find out is when, the spinning has already begun, and it'll continue because both sides want to look like they won. It'll be interesting to see how Rahm Emanuel pulls this one off.
Sam in Chicago, you're on 89 WLS.
Gentlemen, how are you doing?
Hey, Sam.
Sammy.
Okay, I want to ask John this question.
I'm here, Sam.
When you negotiate the raise for that rigorous labor that you do of writing a column, do you think about when you're doing it, you're having your agent negotiate?
I don't have an agent.
The effect it will have on the subscription price and the fact that my father, who reads the paper loyally, would have to pay 10 cents more?
I don't think I cost them that, and I don't have an agent. I don't.
A penny.
Hey, I don't.
You and all your, when you accumulate all of the increases for the columnist, we'll say it goes up 5 cents or a penny. Do you think about that?
Okay, and your point is what? How are you attaching a private commerce to public education for children?
Well, yeah, you got me there because.
Oh, I did. Thanks, Sammy.
Wait a second. You are able to distinguish it that way, but the whole idea that the teachers who want to maximize their wealth by increasing the amount of the cost, the price of their labor is a bad thing because the taxpayers might have to pay more is never part of your thought pattern when you negotiate. So why?
Well, wait, yeah, but Sam,
I'm not teaching children in the public schools, and there's no monopoly. Sam, stop. Hold on. You wanted to talk?
Can I get in?
Okay, I'll let you in a second. We don't have a monopoly in the news. Okay, there's WLS, Jake Hartford sitting here, Rich Roper sits in this chair, and he writes for the Sun-Times. There's Mark Brown, Dan Michalopoulos. I'll give you a bunch of people all over the city that write stuff, okay? So it's not like you have children hostage so you can leverage money out of them. And I think you guys should get more money. I just think you should be more accountable.
I'm not a teacher.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm an independent. I really am. I'm not giving you a bunch of baloney. I'm an independent professional entrepreneur who loves living in the city, who sent his kids to Catholic school only because I wanted them to go and have a Catholic education. But the public schools is where I went.
Sam, are you in business for yourself?
I am.
How do you make people buy your product?
Well, what I do is I offer a good price. I try to offer a high quality service for a very, very reasonable price.
Do you have to be competitive with your prices?
It's killing lots of professionals like me that we have to be very, very competitive, and it's very difficult.
If you were to raise your price today 4%, would you lose business?
There are people who would say that I'm worth the increase in price, and they would pay.
But there's people that wouldn't too, correct?
Well, of course, and that's the competitive environment of being an entrepreneur.
Because they have a choice, and the taxpayers don't have a choice. Sam, we have to let other people get in here.
Sam.
We have to. Yeah, he's monopoly. Let's somebody else get in here. Kelly in Montgomery, you're on 89 WS. Kelly.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you doing today?
Hey, Kel.
Real quick.
Hey, I was listening to what other people were saying about this evaluation. It's really simple. Test the students at the beginning of the year. Test them at the end of the year. Regardless of how intelligent they are when they come in, they might not even know their name. But if at the end of the year they do know their name, then obviously they've learned. A simple evaluation system, and you don't grade the teacher on just the performance of one student. You base it upon all their students. So as individual families have ups and downs, at the end you get an average, and it shows you have the kids learned. And if the kid starts at the beginning of the year and doesn't know his name, and at the end of the year they still don't know their name, they haven't learned, the teacher needs to be let go. It's that simple.
Thank you, Kelly. Every year, you know your name.
Bar. That's the high bar of public education.
921, John Cass, Jake Hartford, in for Bruce and Dan, right here on 89 WLS.
89 WLS.
928, the Bruce and Dan Show. Jake Hartford, John Cass, in for them. We're going to continue to take your calls, and John will talk about your column today in the next half hour.
Right, the Romfather turns into Rumpelstiltskin. What's going on here?
Kimberly in Evanston. Kimberly, you're on 89 WLS.
What I was calling for is to me and Mr. Cass live in the suburbs, and I'm very appreciative of the education that my children get. I've lived in Evanston for 44 years, and the children in Chicago do not get the same resources that our children get. They share booklets. They do not have recess. They do not have other amenities that are privileged that we as students in suburbs get.
How much do you pay for taxes?
That is irrelevant how much I pay for taxes, sir.
Well, if
we
Chicago
get the services.
Well, but if Chicago's going to get all that,
what I'm saying, sir, is that all students should get the same service.
How do you pay for that?
We pay fees, sir.
So I
pay for school fees at my daughter's school, and I pay taxes in my community.
So the people in Chicago should pay the same then, right?
What I'm saying, yes.
Okay, there you go.
Well, sir, what I'm saying is that it's not being done. Why should one set of books be shared between 5 classes when that's not being done at Evanston Township High School?
Thank you, Kimberly.
She has a good point, but it's a $6 billion budget. Okay,
well,
$6 billion.
That's why I was asking her how much she pays in taxes.
Yeah, I make it $10 billion, but people have to pay more taxes, and that's like I told you, when we moved out to the burbs for the schools, I didn't have a car because I had to pay my property taxes.
We'll get back with John Cass, and we're going to take up a collection for John to get a car.
I gotta have a car now, thanks, Jake.
But it's a Yugo.
Yeah, it's not a Prius either.
And we'll continue to take your calls. It's 9:30. Time for News, weather, traveling. Bruce and Dan Show. They're in for Donna Roma, so it's me, Jake Hartford, with John Cass of the Tribune. Listen to Roe and Roper for all the latest on what's going on with the teachers. They've been covering everything, full and complete, A to Z, including when the teachers start walking around the loop, blocking traffic. They're even giving you a play-by-play of where they're going, so you know where the traffic's
going to be bad. Where they're going
for the donut? They went to the Buckingham Fountain the other day. And I thought they're all going to jump in. But they didn't. Then they just dispersed.
I panicked and took off early. I didn't want to have hordes of teachers blocking my way.
You wouldn't want that.
No.
You got a column today.
Mm-hmm. Column 4 times a week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday.
That's
and
the
today's column,
CAS plan.
Right, that's the CAS plan. And today's column is about Rahm Emanuel, Romfather or Rumpelstiltskin. And I wrote it yesterday thinking that this would last a few more days. And that, about Rahm's spin on it and he's trying to spin his way through it like he's the leader of everything. I don't think it's going to last a few more days. What we're seeing now on the website at the Tribune and others is there's movement, right? The city is buckling, caving on the main issue, which is getting rid of teachers that they don't like. And they're going to, now the evaluation is going to be a different evaluation. That's called caving, right? I mean, so it'll be interesting to see how Rahm spins his way out of it. I'm sure the New York Times editorial board will congratulate him for hanging tough.
Well, New York has their own problems with teachers, trying to get rid of teachers. They have what's called a rubber room, and then they've kind of changed it over the last year or so, but they have teachers they can't get rid of that have done things either sexually with students or whatever.
Or they're
misconduct,
morons.
or they're bad. Right. They can't teach, and they can't get rid of them. And they have to keep paying them, and New York doesn't have a mandatory retirement age. There was one teacher who finally retired last year at the age of 76, I believe. They were paying him over $100,000 just to sit every day.
Yeah, we don't have a rubber room, but we do have Jean-Claude Brizard, who's the CEO of the Chicago Public Schools. He's not even in the negotiations. Isn't that nice?
Well, it can't
Your CEO is not even involved.
Can't be everywhere. John in Bourbonnais. John, you're on 89 WLS. Good morning.
Ron in Bourbonnais. Anyhow, good to talk to you guys.
Hey.
I've got the solution to this teacher problem, and it could be done community by community. It's a simple commission structure for the teachers. You'd retain your good ones. They would make the money that they should make, and you'd give the kids an education. I was a food service salesman for a lot of years. We got paid commission, straight commission. The more accounts you could handle, the more likely you were to make a high commission. The more you knew about the various lines that you handled, the more you would sell to each customer.
Yeah, but how would you determine if the kids are actually learning?
If they're not like a half a pound of summer sausage, they're actually
that's
humans.
That's number 3. In order to get paid, I had to collect. In other words, I didn't just sell the merchandise, I had to collect before I got paid. Now that equates out to graduation and how the kid actually tests on varied tests to see how broad their knowledge is and whether they understood what the teacher was doing. But that would solve it, and all
I have to
say we're going to do it.
I have to give you an F on that plan, right, sir?
I would give John of Bourbonnais an F and a A. I'd give him a double grade because the concept is good. Pay the teachers more. I think they deserve more, but and more money in the tougher areas.
Here's what I saw.
Have them accountable.
Here's what I saw before the strike started. When they talked about paying, like he said, if the kids learn. I think it was Karen Lewis, the head of the union, said that teachers aren't in this for the money; they're in this to teach the kids. And then somebody else said, if you're going to pay according if the kids learn, the better. The more they learn, the more you would pay. They said you can't really do that because there are teachers who would cheat and rig the tests.
This is Chicago.
To make the money.
That's already happened. We've had schools cheating. It happens.
Yeah, but they're saying teachers would do that to get the money.
Well, schools and teachers would because if it's only about tests and money, yeah.
Joe in Chicago, you're on 89 WOS, Joe.
Hey, John, Jack, nice to talk to you again.
Hey,
I got a couple things I'd like to say. All right, everyone's saying these teachers don't deserve it. I think a teacher does deserve the pay they get, and they should get a raise. Now, 16% over 4 years, they said, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I got a school right across the street from my house, and I talked to the teachers. and they're saying it's not 16%. It's the rate that they're supposed to get before the contract ended, on top of what is going to be coming up on top of what they already had. I'm listening to all these people. I said, teachers...
Wait, Joe, what you just said, this is why the kids are leaving school and they don't learn stuff. All the stuff we've seen in the media, all the reporting, all the teachers union, all the people from the Board of Ed said this is what it is, and now you're saying, well, it's not what it is.
Because the teacher told you.
Because it's something else.
Well, like I said, there's their side, there's the media side, and there's the Board of Ed side. So, you got to try and piecemeal everything together and then come up with a solution.
But I thought that was the one thing they all agreed on. It was the 16% over 4 years, and they were going back on other issues. They wanted those pianos.
Here's the deal. To pay for this, the school system is $1 billion in the hole. The 16% raise over 4 years will be another $500-600 million. Where are they going to get the money? Here's where they're going to get it. By closing schools. The Tribune earlier this week reported that between 80 to 120 schools will be closed after this, okay? After this deal's set. That means savings for the board, but it also means teachers are going to lose their jobs. That's why this whole evaluation business and being able to, principals to be able to hire, was key, and now they've caved there.
John Cass, Jake Hartford, 89 WOS, 944, back after this.
89 WLS.
59. Road Roper will have the latest on the teachers' talks. So follow them starting at 2 o'clock today. We have another hour to go. We're going to talk about what's going on in Libya and Egypt, and even it's extended to Berlin. The embassy there in Berlin has been evacuated.
And Letterman.
Yeah. A whole bunch more. We're going to have Congressman Adam Kinzinger on in the next hour as we continue. We're going from local to international. That's because we can do that, because this is WLS. John Cass, Jake Hartford in for Bruce and Dan. They are in for Don and Roma. They'll also be in for them tomorrow. So we'll be back here tomorrow, I believe, right here in 89 WLS.